So Dana Carvey became famous for his characterization of Bush, and Bush's sometimes sort of telegraphic style of speech. And while Bush was president, he would smile, yeah, that's funny, funny. So after he left the White House, he no longer had to do that. But George H.W. Bush, I had the honor and the pleasure to encounter him a few times. I used to teach at Texas A&M at the George Bush School of Public Service. And so I got to meet him. He would come to my classes, and he always struck me as one of the most decent individuals to occupy the White House. And I had no idea that he had this sense of humor and this capacity for humor. But he was, this not long after he left the White House, and about the time that his presidential library was opening and school was opening at Texas A&M, he gave a closed-door address to students at Texas, closed door in the sense that the press was not allowed. And one of the things that presidents often have a hard time with, and George H.W. Bush really had this problem, when the press was around, he sort of had to act presidential. And so he often came across as kind of wooden. Lyndon Johnson had the same problem. But once he knew there were no reporters in the room and there were no cameras, he could just sort of let himself go. And he did an imitation of Dana Carvey imitating himself. And I have to tell you, this audience of students, these were undergraduates, and they had no particular opinion of George Bush one way or the other, but they were almost literally rolling in the aisles. And finally, Barbara Bush had to pull out the hook and say, get him out of here. He's not a comedian.